We are all set, Captain. You are ready to go. We are all set, Captain. You are ready to go. We are all set, Captain. You are ready to go. We are all set, Captain. You are ready to go. We are all set, Captain. You are ready to go.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's OFI5, and we're alive. We're about to get set for yet another bit of Aussie action. This time around, we're going to Melbourne Park in this fabulous event, brought to you as well by the good people at Next Level Racing. And my name, of course, being George Morgan. I'm back again on your screens here at the OFI. Can't wait for this one. And joining me is Scotty. Scotty, how you doing, sir?
Very well on this lovely Wednesday morning for you. But yeah, absolute pleasure to be in the comms box with yourself. We got a great band of commentators here in the Oceania region, so to put my name among those guys, yeah, absolute thrill, and can't wait to get on to tonight's action, especially with how last week's quality session very close between some of the leagues. So can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be tremendous. Can I just say, the amount it has grown over the last few events is absolutely unbelievable. I remember when we first started doing these events, and it is sensational to see at what point we are now. And I'm sure there'll be many more in the near future. I know that Slammer, Steve, we all call him Slammer, but he's been putting in a lot of work to make this happen and put you guys on the map and all the leagues that are taking part. Just a reminder of how this works as well, folks. We had the qualifying event, as Scotty alluded to. We had only the 10 best leagues in this sense could actually qualify for this event. They went through the qualification phase, and let's show you the lineup as to who's taking part, because I think we're going to be in for a juicy one. Here we go. We have got Ryan97 and Master Berserk representing OCE Racing, Left 4 Dead, and Oshilo in the Wallaby Racing. I've got to get my pronunciation right on that one. Geordie Slater and SVYT representing the Oceania Racing League. Frosty and Roscoe Arm as well for the Down Under Racing Series. Seb and Ecam, they're representing the Aussie Racing League. We then have Inters Racing League, brought to you by KLX and Yusuf Goat. We then have the Flashback Racing team of Ryan Cox and Gregory Prisbill. Of course, Gregory Prisbill being someone to watch as well from prior events. Jordan Arnold and Checkered Flag from Velocity Esports Central. We then have arguably the favourites in all this, Al Karudin and Ryan Bell, part of RaceSpec Esports historically. They have been successful in the past. I was also a commentator of RaceSpec when I first started branching out on the F1 game. Noodles and Rapid Relics round off the latter team as well. Rapid Racing League coming into this one. But a fascinating lineup here, Scotty. Who are your eye catchers?
Well, you have a look at the list, and RaceSpec obviously has experience. Both those gentlemen obviously been in nearly all of the events that we've run so far, so you definitely got to look to them. Flashback Racing, a new league onto the scene. Obviously, Ryan Cox, Gregory Prisbill, obviously two big hitters. Gregory obviously getting a good result in, I believe it was OFI5, if I'm not mistaken. And also OCE as well, Ryan97, he was right up there in the timing sheets, just topping the timing sheet by about a couple of hundredths of a second. So they'd probably be your three leagues that I've definitely got my eye on.
Yeah, well, we're going to be in for a treat because we have got a fantastic circuit lined up as well this evening. We're going to Melbourne, folks, the Albert Park circuit, and famously, historically held a place at the very start of the Formula One calendar. Of course, nowadays it's a few races in, but it's always great to have it on show. And you know, I've been watching races at Melbourne Park, at Albert Park at Melbourne ever since 1996, the same season that Damon Hill would go on to win his World Championship. And looking at Albert Park in particular, Scott, we have got a circuit that's flat, no undulation or elevation changes as such. carries a bit of weight as a street circuit, but also as a traditional circuit in its own regard as well, centered around a man-made lake. But also at the same time, it has a mixture of corners, does it not? It has straight line speed sections. We got a few mid to slow speed corners, and they have made some changes in recent years since 2021, opening up that final sector just to allow a little bit more flow, some more action, some extra spice as the drivers go wheel to wheel.
Yeah, and it's interesting since those last couple of years, obviously 4 DRS zones on this particular circuit. You have a look at it, you sort of got 2 DRS zones, then about 4 or 5 corners, and then you're back on the DRS zone. So it's going to be a key, especially in the race in terms of strategy, because we might have 4 DRS zones. We've only got 2 detection points as well, so you can use the first to either overtake or defend, and then your second lot of DRS, you can help defend or another chance to overtaking. And we'll probably see turn on the entry to turn 9, probably your big passing opportunity with that long run through what was the old chicane section prior.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, there's plenty of different avenues to overtake. I mean, you look through turns 1 and turns 2, definitely one of the high spots, but also the latter sector now has become quite the haven. You can actually dare to dream for a move down the inside, heading in towards the final bends, which I'm sure will be interesting. Let's see. Let's just wait and see who's going to come out on top in this one. Looking back at prior form, we have, of course, seen some really brilliant results in the past. I would say if you look at your eye catchers, going back to Race Spec Esports, Scotty, we've witnessed some brilliance from the likes of Al Karudin and Ryan Bell.
Yeah, exactly right. And they were 2 of the right up there. Obviously, a couple of drivers missing from the event that had raced a lot of them, but this is their chance to really get a good result. Obviously, Race Spec won the first teams event. At the first event, 5th in OFI2 in the teams event, and then 2nd, 6th, and then 2 thirds at OFI4. So they've usually been right up the front contending. So it should be fascinating to see how they go and sort of how they can sort of bounce back a little bit, because they were lower down on the quality times, as I mentioned earlier. So be very interesting to see. And Australia, we sort of mentioned it can be a little bit of a tricky track, but with sort of league rules a little bit different, we have safety cars in the race. It's got to be who can strategize and preempt maybe a safety car or 2, and maybe the chance of dynamic weather as well. So we don't know what conditions we'll have as well.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. I think in this case, certainly, it looks like the weather's pretty good. Are you guys ready to pan across to the camera screen? Are you guys ready to see some qualifying? Put some dubs in the chat if you want to see some of those. I want to see plenty of W's there in the live chat, guys, as we get ready to get going. So come on, let's start spamming the chat. Come on, I can see them coming through. Jaden Squires, I see you. Wallaby Racing League, Rapid, Maxi Boy. Keep them coming, guys. Every single one of you get involved. Right, I think they're ready, Scotty. Let's move on in. Here we go. The action about to get in full swing, as we're just about to get our cameras in sync, and here we are. Drivers now making their way out onto the track. We're just running on board here with Left 4 Dead as he now joins the circuit, and we will be underway here at Albert Park. He's not alone though. Ryan Cox out as well very early. Seb, as well as Ecam as well. Gregory Prisbill. It's going to be a feisty affair. But as I said, the weather looking nice and bright. No concerns of wet weather, at least for now. A little bit of humidity here and there. We have got approximately 13%. And track temperature currently stands at 36 degrees with 31 degrees in the air as well. So 15 minutes and 30 to go. And it's going to be the Ferrari of Left 4 Dead to get us underway. Full qualifying system here. So the initiative at this point is trying to get yourself out of Q1. Make sure you're not in that bottom 5, Scotty.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of drivers at the moment on the intermediate tyres, so they're hoping to get through on one soft compound if they can, to maybe try and do double runs maybe towards the end in Q3. But being how close it was, we may have to see a fair few of these drivers use a second set that they wouldn't want to burn, which could put them in a little bit of trouble further on. But yeah, obviously banker laps at the moment. Not a lot of traffic at the moment. Obviously, just making sure that their setups are spot on, being that there is parc fermé on, so you can't change it in the race. So you've got to make sure that you've got a bit of a balance set up for both sessions.
Yeah, just a little reminder as well, folks, we do have a giveaway. Kindly supplied prize from Next Level Racing, who are proud partners of the Oceania F1 Racing League. You can use hashtag NextLevelFGT, and that will allow you to enter the competition. Already coming in is Left 4 Dead, so we will join back with Noodles. Let's see if the initial laps are put in. As you can see, just a little reminder, we see this as well in F1 sim racing quite often, as well as PSGL, other top leagues. You know, no different. Obviously, here at the Oceania F1 League, the intermediate tyres being utilised here at the very beginning, just to make sure that everything technical around the car, as well as the setup itself, is on point for these drivers. Obviously, they want to make sure everything's okay. They don't want to waste a set of softs, so therefore just putting in what they would call an installation lap here in this initial phase of qualifying. So no surprises to see that. And with 13 minutes and very soon 30 to go, we'll now see the drivers make their way back into the box, exchange those intermediates for a slick set of tyres as Youssef Goat rejoins the session. Good to see him come back in. Obviously, it'd be a shame to lose someone so early on in this qualifying, but already the tension, you can cut it with a knife. And that's exactly what racing's all about. But yes, just a small reminder, get involved in the Next Level Racing FGT competition. Hashtag Next Level Racing, or should I say Next Level FGT, and you can enter the competition for the rig.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we only saw a few drivers go out on the inches. I actually would have assumed that more would have gone out, maybe comfortable with their setups. But I can see everyone pretty much just sitting in pit lane, waiting for the track conditions to sort of maybe ramp up a little bit, maybe hoping for a few more drivers out on track, but won't be the case. We do have, I believe, one of the Red Bulls is Ryan coming out, first one on a soft compounded tyre. So we'll actually see what the first banker lap will be of OFI.
Yep, certainly will. A lot of action to be had. We're already on the 12th, well, 12 minutes and 30 to go. No rain expected through the course of the session, so we will see Ryan Hunter head down the next straight. Of course, DRS will be open, heading down this portion of, or should I say DRS will come up out of turn 5, so he'll have to tee up the run heading through this segment and then blast down through towards turn 6, where you'll then enter sector 2. And again, a great opportunity for overtaking when it comes to race time. Here is the outlook in terms of the tyres as well. Folks, let's just run you through it. As you can see, every single car now with soft tyres banded to the chassis. Therefore, ditching those intermediates that some drivers were running in those initial laps. And now under no illusions, it's all about setting the fast lap. You cannot afford to hold back, because if you do, you'll be eliminated out of Q1 and you will not feature in Q2. We all know how much track position and grid position is vital, especially around Albert Park here as well, Scotty.
Yeah, because you can find a bit of carnage can sometimes happen around turns 1 and 2, so you definitely want to be up front to avoid that, but also avoiding any DRS trains. For DRS zones, it is very tough to try and make a move when you're third, fourth, fifth in the train, so you need to be out front, get that clean air, push the pace a little bit early, and yeah, that's why it's so important to make sure that you're at least out of Q1. You don't want to be in that mid-pack as Ryan Hunter is about to start his lap.
Yep, Ryan Hunter heading down the long straight. Let's ride on board with him as he now looks to post his first flying lap of the session. Coming out of turn 1 at Brabham, he'll then venture through Jones at turn 2, open up, then heading down this long straight in towards turn 3 and 4. It gets a little technical around this portion, comes in 3rd gear, straight back on the throttle. Just want to feather it slightly to find the grip. 4th gear now as he heads through this next left-hander, just taking a little bit of the curve. Now this one you could almost take flat. 6th gear becomes 7th, and then you venture through towards sector 2, turn 6 and turn 7. Now he's caught up with a little bit of traffic, sets a 26.7 in the first sector. That's not bad, just to set the basis here right now, and he does have slipstream at his disposal here too, and he's getting some of his Red Bull counterpart as he now heads through this next lap to 17.285, now in sector 2 as well, near enough flat out, going through the left and right. He's in sector 3 proper as he now heads down in towards turn 11. He'll come through Ascari at this point, doesn't even graze the curb on the inset, but on the outset takes a whole plethora of it. Now coming through Stewart at turn 14, he has got 15 at Prost. Coming up next, you can just see the pit entry on the right-hand side. He will not take it So he's going to finish his lap on the outset of turn 16. DRS now open. Now what can Ryan Hunter lay down as he crosses the line? It's a 1:16.717 to kick us off, Scotty, but checkered flag already faster in the first sector.
Yeah, it was a solid lap, especially the great toe in the middle sector. About 6 tenths off where we were at the end of last Wednesday, but obviously track conditions will be getting better. But checkered flag, he was a little bit disappointed last week. Felt he had more time and it just didn't quite get the run that he wanted in the 18-minute session. So first chance to see how checkered flag does go in the Haas, crosses the line, and is a 16.9. Lost a little bit of time in that final sector, but a solid banker at the moment for checkered flag.
Yeah, didn't manage to nestle in an improvement ahead of Ryan Hunter in the second and third sectors. Managed to obtain a purple first sector, which did put him in a good position to obviously unseat Ryan Hunter, but just didn't take it. Gregory Prisbill has just gone fastest in the first sector as well. Al Karudin a 26.7 in the first sector, 17.3. Now, whilst obviously Al Karudin isn't necessarily as quick, shall I say, in quali pace as some of these guys, he has brilliant race trim ability, does Al Karudin. So in the AlphaTauri, team from Faenza, he'll now make his way up towards the line. Where will he sit? Go second fastest, just ahead of checkered flag. But I'm going to move back to Gregory Prisbill because he's purple in the first two sectors here and looking really quick. A 26.579, a 17.282 in sector 2. I tell you what, a purple third sector to make it a full house would be absolutely sensational. Great to get your qualifying session off with a bang, and I must say it looked like a smooth visit. It certainly was. A 1:16.596 to go faster than Ryan Hunter by just over a tenth of a second. Good lap there from Gregory Prisbill.
Yes, I was just on board with Ox. Chillo goes into P3, 16.8. So we're already clearing the 16 barrier. I think we've got SBYT, Siv, if that's the incorrect pronunciation. Apologise. 17.3 for their first banker lap.
Yeah, few movers and shakers already coming in. We saw Rapid Relics come into the pits earlier on. He's now back out on an outlap. Roscoe now coming through the final few corners, 26.9. Just got on the curb a little bit coming through the final sector as we now see the Alpine twist through the final corner at turn 16 this time around. Personal improvements, of course, across the grid right now as they look to set their initial times. 8th fastest for Roscoe here in this stint. Joshua Rimmer also out and about on circuit 2. Has gone 26.8 in the first sector. Now, the faster times are generally operating around the 26.6s. I can tell you that Ryan Cox has just gone fastest in the second sector with a 17.282 as he now looks to make his way around the final few bends, of course. We've now got plenty of time. Well, we're coming into the dying 6 minutes and 40, so still opportunities there for drivers to unleash their faster runs, and the track will become more and more optimal as time goes on, and no doubt some of the teams will want to utilise the slipstream as now Ryan Cox looks to put in a blistering third sector, and he certainly did that. It's now Aston Martin first and second. A great display from both drivers, of course representing Flashback Racing here as well, and Ryan Cox faster than his teammate Gregory Prisbill, but they're holding the fort. Should it be Q3, that would be a front row lockout there, Scotty.
Yeah, so new kids on the block up front at the moment. A couple of guys invalidated their laps, unfortunately, so they'll have time to come in that box, but you don't want to burn a set of softs unnecessarily, as we had Geordie Slater goes into P2 on a 16.5, so a great lap time for the Merc team, which is Oceania Racing League, so puts one of their cars up in P2 at the moment. You can see a lot of traffic in the final sector. I believe a few of them coming in. I think that's a Williams, I believe. Is it Relics about to start a hot lap?
It could well be. He was on an outlap earlier on, and yes, he is about to set his, well, it'll be his first flying lap because he hasn't yet set a time, but Relics will be looking to do it here this time. DRS now opened up as he now blasts down through towards the next right-hander, keeping it tight to the inside yet again, and we'll be looking to come into this with an abundance of pace, obviously go a long way to his ambitions in this championship, representing Rapid Racing League in his debut, finishing P5 in Rapid Racing, and now looking to return this time in competitive action. Let's see what he can muster here this time as he opens up the rear wing once again. The fast left and right's incoming. Very, very tricky It's certainly very easy to get this one wrong as well. The curbs are not your friend, really, in many ways, coming through that fast left and right, and now into the second and out of the second into the third sector. He'll come through towards the next right-hander out of Ascari, and then in towards Stewart. I can tell you he's done a 26.7 in Sector 1 with a 17.4 in Sector 2. A big third sector would also help as well, but this time is looking pretty competitive. Should be within the realms of mid-table, you'd like to think, as now Rapid Relics comes up towards the line. It certainly is mid-table. P11 for the Williams, a 16.966, goes ahead of Kicks and just behind Checkered Flag.
Yeah, so he'll be a little bit worried, only P11, 16.966. I'm on board with Jordan Arnold at the moment in the Haas in the middle sector with DRS between 8 and 9. A couple of guys up front comfortable on their 16.4, 16.5, Ryan and Gregory. As Jordan Arnold 44.4, I believe, in the middle sector split. So no time on the board, and we're running out of time, only 3.5 minutes left to go. So, big snap of the rear. And that's just going to cost him a whole bunch of time, and unfortunately, that's going to ruin Jordan Arnold's lap.
Yeah, it's the rear getting away from him, coming through the final bends. We know how treacherous they can be. Very, very slow zones, especially when you're under braking. It can be so tricky, especially coming off the back of a DRS straight, coming through the fast left and right, and it's only enough for 13th fastest. Very disappointing. His first sector was actually decent at 26.676, which is generally where we're seeing some of the best times. If you want a rundown, folks, of the current fastest sectors, it is in fact every sector bar one goes to the Aston Martins up at the very top. Ryan Cox and Gregory Prisbill holding the fastest first and second sector. Well, I can tell you, it's quite funny actually. Gregory Prisbill and Ryan Cox are matching to the 1,000th in terms of their sector time in Sector 2. Both of them have 17.282s. So very much a team that is in cahoots together. And obviously as one here in the Oceania F1-5 Championship. And I must say, what a fabulous effort on their part as well, looking to give their team the best possible chance of laying claim to this championship. I'm sure Flashback Racing are going to be delighted to see it. Geordie Slater, though, splitting the pair, is back out on an outlap, and he does hold the fastest third sector. So we're just waiting now for the drivers to make their way around. One driver that is out and about is Ryan Bell, and he's got slipstream off his teammates as well, so looking for that little bit of extra pace. He's done a 26.6 in the first sector, that's competitive, and a 13.3 in the second sector, which isn't too far away from where some of the best times are at this stage, Scotty.
And one sector left to navigate. Ryan Bell in the danger zone, hasn't actually set a lap time and needs this lap. Only a minute 45, so won't have the ERS regen to get around, let alone fuel. But around the final corner, can Ryan Bell get out of Q1, crosses the line, and that's going to be a lap fairly comfortable. 16.5 should put them comfortably through his teammate in P10 on a 16.8.
Well, I tell you what, that means that the top three are all within 88 thousandths of a second. That is unbelievable. I mean, I suppose Ryan Bell could take some solace in the fact that he knows that obviously Ryan Cox and Gregory Prisbill have retired from the session. Now, Jordan Arnold has retired as well. Now, that is certainly far from safe. Obviously, we've only got a minute left. He probably didn't have enough time to go out for another run, but he is currently in major risk of missing out on a chance to get into Q2.
Yeah, look like we're missing one of the Oceania Racing League's spit in the pit lane, 15th as well. So we may actually lose a couple of these drivers as everybody behind them will be on an outlap. And I have a feeling a 17.3 will definitely not get you through with the likes of Yusuf, Seb, Joshua Rimmer as well, still yet to set a lap time.
Yeah, and I can tell you this as well, Al Karudin currently invalidating his fast run and is very quickly trying to get himself back round again, but I don't think he'll have enough time. It's going to be very close, it's going to be very tight. He's only got a mere 16 seconds before the checkered flag comes down, so very much at risk here, Al Karudin. I'm going to keep my beady eyes on him because I want to see whether he makes it or not. No, he's not. He's coming straight into the pits, so 10th fastest is where he'll at least stay for now. Here in Q1, he could yet drop into the elimination zone. A few others have as well, as we now await the faster lap times to come on in. Further back, we can also see more cars trying to get out of the drop zone. This man, Joshua Rimmer, no time set. Neither is Seb above him either, but looking to find at least something in these dying moments. Roscoe as well with a 26.7 in the first sector, 17.5. We've got them all coming through now. Here comes Joshua Rimmer to post his first flying lap here of Q1 as he now goes in. Yes, does get safety. A good time to get himself through, at least for now. 9th fastest there for Joshua Rimmer. What about Roscoe? He's now at the root of the field. A 26.7 in Sector 1, 17.5 in Sector 2. Needs a blistering Sector 3 in order to lift himself off the bottom and move Youssef Goat to the back of the field. He can't. He can only go 19th quickest. He's out of qualifying. He will not proceed to Q2. And already, as you can see, many of them already decided. Youssef Goat now also coming around the final bend as well. 7 thousandths off the pace as he now makes his way up towards the line. Has he got anything to answer back with? No, he doesn't. So that is our eliminees confirmed. Jordan Arnold unfortunately getting suckered down into that drop zone as well after retiring just before the clock struck 0. And it means we do lose Noodles, Jordan Arnold, SVYT15, Roscoe 212, and Youssef Goat. So there we have it. An action-packed, a thrill ride, Scotty, through the final minutes.
Yeah, and KLX breathing just a little bit of sigh of relief because his teammate could have been the one that would knock him out. But yeah, just unfortunate with a couple of drivers just not quite getting the lap time in. So we've lost 5, all from different leagues, I believe, as well. So no league has been knocked out as of yet. So still one car in for each. But up the top, as you said before, 88 1,000ths of a second covering the top 3. If we get this through the next 2 quali sessions, what a rip of quali that we'll see.
Yeah, we certainly will. Just a reminder of those that we have lost as well. As you can see, Noodles up at the bottom for the Williams Racing team. We've also lost Jordan Arnold as well. And unlucky there, unfortunate there for the VSC side. We've got SVYT for ORL. He's also out. And Roscoe also out as well. Remember, he set the initial times that we saw earlier on, representing DRS. And then we have Youssef Goat at the very tail end of the field. But unfortunately, they will not make it through. And we will move on to Q2 very shortly. But in terms of where the Aston Martins sit right now, Ryan Cox, as well as Gregory Prisbill. We saw Gregory in prior OFI competitions. He's always been there or thereabouts, Scotty. I wouldn't necessarily say that he's known for his quali pace. More so, very much like Al Karud I would say, for the race pace.
Yeah, exactly right. And his goal is, if he knows he doesn't quite have the quali pace, just to get somewhere around his teammate. Obviously, the slipstream, we've seen about 3 or 4 teams actually do it quite nicely, and Flashback obviously was one of them. So if he sort of can just get around his teammate, then obviously they can be in for a fighting chance to sort of work with each other to try and get themselves both on the podium as well. But yeah, big loss. I will say, Jordan Arnold, you thought he might have been right up there, but unfortunately couldn't get the lap time in. So we'll have to do a fair bit of work to try and get him way back through. But as I said, safety cars could come into play. He could be a little bit better in terms of a race setup. So we'll obviously find that out in about half an hour's time.
Yeah, certainly will. Now, folks, don't forget as well, you can get involved in the action yourself. Why not enter yourself in our next level racing competition? Of course, proud partners of the Oceania F1 Invitational. Make sure you use hashtag NextLevelFGT in the live chat, and you can be in with a chance of winning a rig of your own. So get involved and make sure you enter yourself in that competition. We will be drawing it towards the end of the broadcast. So get those entries in ASAP. Next, now we have Q2. Scotty, your assessment of Q1 moving into Q2, who has really caught your eye? I would say probably the Aston Martins at this point, Ryan Cox and Gregory Prisbill, but we saw Geordie Slater sticking his nose in as well.
Yeah, I knew he definitely had pace and he was going to sort of be right up there, but surprised he was sort of right up there straight away. I mean, he did get third last week, so he's definitely got quali pace, and I actually commentated one of his races around here, and he did very, very well. So I believe he likes his track, so you should see some good stuff from him. But I have no clue who we're going to drop out of the bottom 5. That top 15 was separated by just over half a second, so there is barely anything in it. You have to get your toes right. You have to make sure that you keep it within the white lines to not waste any track time or use another set of soft compounded tyres. So it's going to be interesting, and it's only going to be the finest margins that we're going to see a couple of these quicker drivers possibly get knocked out.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, it's going to get a little bit more volatile now because we're coming in to nut cutting time. Now, arguably, Q2 can be the crewless session because obviously you're only steps away from getting through to the pole shootout in Q3. And this time around, things are going to get a little more fraught. There's less cars in the lineup. So track position is going to be vital at the same time. They're going to be looking for that clean air. Some might even be looking for a slipstream. As now Kix makes his way in towards turn 1. And he'll then light things up heading out of turn 2, down through towards turn 3. Oh, goodness me. Just left it a little late coming out of turn 2. Ran very wide of the apex. And unfortunately spinning, just lighting up those rear tyres as well, Scotty. That is not ideal for Kix.
It's not ideal, but thankfully he's actually still in this quali session. You know plenty of times on this game, you have a spin at turn 2 off that curb, get a little bit throttle happy, you find yourself in the wall. So KLX is almightily lucky that he's still in this session. Would have just burnt that tyre, would have given him a little bit of a, would have put the nerves on him. So he'll just have to calm that down. He's still got 11.5 minutes left to go. Calm himself down, and he'll be getting another lap time in. But he'll just be a little bit more wary through turn 2 now, I'd imagine.
He was very fortunate not to damage the car itself. We'll have another chance to at least lay down a time. Now, many of the drivers will probably look to use the used tyres at the start of this session. Don't want to waste a brand new set. May as well just lay down a delta that you can use then to sort of measure your time against as you make your way deeper into the session. We see the F1 sim racing drivers do exactly that. It's the best way to help boon your confidence, especially when you see that green delta in the corner of your screen as well. But unfortunately for Kix, he's now got to try and go again. Currently 6th fastest on your timing screen. Certainly doesn't want to drop into that bottom 5. There's quite a few other cars now making their way out. I can tell you that checkered flag has just gone purple in the first sector, as you'd expect. No time's currently laid out right now, but a 26.7 isn't too far apart from what we saw in our Q1 session. 17.5. Now he's already lost out though on the purple first sector because it's been taken by Ryan Bell, who is going straight to work here at this stage. 10 minutes and 30 to go. 10 minutes and 25 if you want to be precise, as now the Haas makes its way through turn 15. Turn 16 coming up next now, and he'll send it down the long straight. Now, will it be the case that checkered flag hits the checkered flag in front come the end of Q3 later on? Will he get there? 1:17.081, not bad. I'd imagine used tyres very much utilised, but Ryan Bell in the AlphaTauri will look to usurp him, and we all know the capabilities behind Ryan Bell, representing race spec esports alongside the likes of Al Karudin. Let's see if he can add a notch to his lapel and go to the top ahead of the Haas that initially set his time. And just look at that, a 1:16.319. That is over 7.5 tenths to 8 tenths quicker than checkered flag, who's now relegated to P2. Great time from Ryan Bell. Might have even used new tyres here, Scotty.
Yeah, possibly, but again, great toe from the AlphaTauri, so ours in. So we'll probably change onto a set of softs and they'll just reverse the order, but we got both McLarens doing the same thing. I believe it is Seb, the car behind, that will get a lovely toe down as we follow through. So a great run into turn number 9. 44 flat for the second sector split. So through 9 and 10 now. 4th bit of DRS down to turn 11. Obviously the newly configured turn 11 takes that nicely. Has a couple of corners left to go around turn 12 now. Takes a curve on the outside around 13. And then the final corner, turn 14. You need to nail this corner to get the straight line speed down to the start-finish line. Seb, what can they do? Comes across the line, 16.7 for their first lap in Q2. Good enough to put them in P2 at the moment.
Yeah, not bad at all. Gregory Brisbell just facing a little bit of traffic on the entry into the fast left and right, coming out of turn 11 and turn 12. He's now got a trip down towards Ascari in a bid to try lodge himself to the top. I can't imagine he would have used fresh tyres, so doesn't mind if this is a bit of a throwaway lap. I can tell you that Oxchillo has just gone purple in the first sector, a 26.467. As now Prisbill heads through the final corner at turn 16. DRS now opened up here for the Aston Martin. Let's see what the flashback racing car can do this time. At 1:16.403, only 84 thousandths. Again, we're seeing that 80 thousandths of a second difference between some of the drivers. But all eyes on this man as Oxchillo, on soft tyres in his own right, set a 26.4 in the first sector. Considerably faster than those in front as well, with a 17.3 in Sector 2. So the prancing horse looking to prance onwards here. The Scarlet Red Ferrari bidding to hit the front once again. As it now crosses the line, only enough for second fastest, just could not quite pull it out heading through the middle sector. It is still Ryan Bell. In fact, that was the catalyst, was that second sector, a 17.2 for the AlphaTauri. Oxchillo putting together a 17.3, but was still purple in Sector 1 and Sector 3, but it was just the mere fact that he lost time in Sector 2 that meant he didn't take P1 in the initial stages of Q2.
Yeah, and I'm on board with Ryan Slater, Geordie Slater coming through the final corner. So it was near the top last time. Goes P5, 16.5. So purple in the middle on my screen. Might not be quite right, but Geordie Slater probably will have to go again. 16.5, you'd feel could be maybe 16.6, 16.7 will be a cut-off. Ryan Hunter, I should say, did invalidate their first run. So he had to tow that lap and invalidated early in the first sector. So it's a little bit of pressure on the Red Bull team now.
Yeah, Ryan Cox also coming up towards the line, and he goes fastest with a first 16.1 of the session, a 1:16.159, faster than Ryan Bell. It's a tale of two Ryans up at the front end, and just over 1.5 tenths of a second quicker than his Ryan compatriot in behind, but obviously not sharing the same team. It's the Aston Martin back on top, and Ryan Cox announces his arrival back at the front with Flashback Racing, and that is a time for the rest to beat. But we've still got plenty more to come. Al Karudin also out on track as well, Ryan Bell's teammate, and looking to muster in his first time of the session as well, and has got the ability to take a tow as well of Ryan Bell, who is also out on an outlap. So the AlphaTauris, no doubt, working together here, Scotty.
Yeah, probably a little bit closer than what they would have wanted. Only got the tow for about half that straight, so didn't quite line up as well as they would have wanted. 44.018 to the second sector line as they navigate through the final sector. DRS coming into turn 11, needs a lap. We got just over 5 minutes left to go in the session. So, got to nail these final three corners. Just managing to keep it within the white lines. Turn 13. And the final turn 14. It looks smooth through there. Going to be a run to the line. Needs a good lap time. Crosses the line. It's only a 16.6 P8. It is going to be tight to see who gets in. But at least it's a lap time on the board.
Wouldn't necessarily be safe, though, at this point, especially considering we're going to be losing the bottom 5 here at the end of qualifying, depending on who has the faster times. But all the cars now coming into the pit lane. I do wonder whether Al Karudin faced a little bit of traffic on the opening stages of his lap. Obviously, I think might have got a little bit too close to his teammate Ryan Bell at the very beginning. But at least he's got a time embedded on the screen, 1:16.6, despite it not necessarily being competitive at the front end. He might have been using a used set of tyres, but we are coming down now to the final 4 minutes. Now, my big question to everyone in the live chat, who's getting eliminated? Let us know in the chat with your nominations as to who you think the bottom 5 will be. Scotty, at the end of the day, we've got a few drivers there. We've got 2 Red Bulls currently in the drop zone. Of course, Joshua Rimmer still yet to nestle his time together, but it's not an ideal place to be. It does place you on the back foot as such, so you don't really want to remain there for too much longer, as you will pay the price.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they go out a little bit early and at least give one the tow to try and get through. It's the worst case scenario for them to have both outside the top 10. They both would want the tow, but they both need it. And as we count down, we're not really going to have time to do double tows for the guys. So Joshua's out first. So it might be Ryan that may get the tow on the lap. We'll have to wait and see. So we've got a few guys coming out now. Relics, Frosty just outside, checkered flag 17.081. As I said, we think Checkered Flag might have been on a slightly used set from Q1. So it may have a little bit of time, but it's got to be anybody's game in terms of who can make it through. But it'd be a big shock if we lost Ryan Hunter. Needs to get this lap in now, otherwise he's got a lot of work in the race to try and carve his way through the field.
Yeah, well, Joshua Rimmer, who's yet to set a time, much like Clex as well, who actually spun the opening stages of Q2. It's now all down to this pretty much. 2 minutes and 30 to go here in the session. And now heading down through towards turn 1. Joshua Rimmer on his flying left. Let's ride on board with him. He's going to look to go from the back to the front as now he makes his way past the stricken cars here out on track. Heading down now this next straight towards turn 3. Now opening up that rear wing to closing it again under braking. Third gear quickly becomes fourth as he high revs it through in towards sector 2. Again, traffic littered throughout the Albert Park circuit. Might have not been the smartest thing to go out at this stage because you've got many cars preparing to go on fast runs, though in this instance he has got a little bit of a tow. Heading down through now in this DRS section leading towards the very fast left and right, turns 9 and 10. There's the tow put into action from Ryan Hunter. He goes now wide, tries to maximise corner speed through the apex, has done so brilliantly. Sector 3 now here for Rimmer, just needs to try and unleash anything he can, making his way in towards turn 11. 90-degree right-hander coming out of Ascari and now in towards Stewart. You can just see the cars there position themselves. Great respect there shown by all drivers, giving him the track space so he can now try and register his first flying lap. Not only will it be his first flying lap, but it'll be his last as well. Joshua Rimmer looking to try and raise the stakes as he comes through. Yes! Top 10 for Joshua Rimmer, 7th fastest, but is it safe, Scotty?
It's going to be tough, but he now has to switch to a mode where he's going to have to give Ryan Hunter the toes. Ryan's just coming to start his lap around turn 2 now, so we'll keep an eye on that. But that was the issue, traffic affecting a couple of the guys. Checkered Flag didn't improve his lap time, so I think we might be losing the Haas driver, Checkered Flag. As we come around, I think we'll stick on board with Ryan Hunter because he will be the big shock if we lose Ryan. He was the quickest last Wednesday night on a 1:16.4, 1:42. So he gets the tow from his teammate, needs to perfect this second half of the lap. DRS now enabled for the Red Bull driver. And it's looking like a good tow. They've worked that well quite nicely. One sector left to go, a 43.881. Just needs to keep it within the white lines, and it should be a good enough lap to get him into the top 10. Round turn 11. Gets the turn in nicely.
I can tell you that Clex has invalidated his lap as well, so that is one driver that will not be making it through to Q3. So unfortunately for Clex 789, he will not be heading into the knockouts. Ryan Hunter to decide it, heading up towards the line with DRS open now. Will two Red Bulls be bound together? They certainly will. It's a tale of three Ryans in P's 1, 2 and 3. Cox, Hunter and Bell up at the very head of the order with just over 1.5 tenths of a second between them. You just can't write stories quite like this, Scotty.
Oh, and Frosty just misses out by 27/1000ths of a second. Seb is out. He's on a slow lap. Relics went to P12, then dropped down to 13th. So we've lost our 5 already. Frosty so close to getting into Q3. A big sigh of relief for the AlphaTauri driver. Both race spec drivers into Q3. Big sigh of relief, especially both Red Bulls as well. They were 13th and 15th with 2 minutes left to go. And thankfully, they are both in, as I believe we've pretty much got all the teammates very close to each other. Geordie Slater surviving on a 16.4, very close to Frosty and Seb making out. Seb made a mistake on their lap, just couldn't quite get a little bit more pace in there. So unfortunate for those guys, but what a top 10 shootout we have with 2 of the Ryans. And, actually, all 3 Ryans in the top 3.
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? Incredible. Ryan Cox, Ryan Hunter, Ryan Bell. That is your top 3. Gregory Prisbill making it an Aston Martin 1 and 4. Oxchillo in 5th with his teammate Left for Dead in 6th. We've got 2 Astons, 2 Ferraris. We've got 2 Red Bulls heading through as well, both AlphaTauris alike. Incredible. What a performance from Ryan Cox. A 1:16.159, enough to make him fastest in Q2 and confirm his position in Q3. Let's take you through the order. Ryan Cox in first, Ryan Hunter in second, Ryan Bell in third, Gregory Prisbill in fourth, Oxchillo in fifth, Left 4 Dead in sixth, Ecam in seventh. We then have Geordie Slater in eighth, Joshua Rimmer in ninth, Al Karudin in 10th, just barely getting through. It was only a very fine margin between them, mere hundredths in fact, in terms of safety. Frosty will unfortunately not be making it through to Q3. He is eliminated, as is Seb. Rapid Relics in 13th. Checkered Flag did not make it through, and Clicks couldn't even put together a flying lap. Unfortunately, spinning at the very start and towards the very end, invalidating his lap. The pressure just getting a little bit too much for the young man, and will not be proceeding to the shootout in our next phase of qualifying. But truly a baffling session where we've witnessed 3 Ryans go to the front of the order. Like I said, you can't write narratives quite like this, but a great opportunity for Ryan Cox. In terms of consistency over qualifying laps, Scotty, it's looking good for the Aston Martins.
Yeah, exactly right. They've been able to bang their first lap pretty much right at the top, and yeah, it's got to be interesting to see how they go. Obviously, in Q3, they do get a brand new set of soft compounder tyres to use in the session, so some of these guys may actually have a couple of softs where they can do 2 runs to put the time in, but yeah, it's going to be very close between, I'd probably say, the top 5. Geordie Slater's up there, probably didn't get the lap time in Q2. Oxchillo as well, great lap time. Left 4 Dead, so both Ferraris, both Astons. It's probably nearly a pick about who can actually get the quickest time in, and could we see a 15 in this quality session as well? We're getting close to it.
Yeah, we are. We're getting very close to it indeed. Already we got some activity out on track, folks. We want to hear from you, though, folks. Who's taking pole? Let us know. We want to see that live chat lit up. And also don't forget as well, we've got our big giveaway as part of Next Level Racing as well. Proud partners of the Oceania F1 Invitational. Make sure you use hashtag NextLevelFGT to be in with a chance of being a winner and taking home a cockpit of your own. Make sure you use that, spam that hashtag, get yourself entered, and let us know, folks. Like I said, the major question, who's taking pole? Please let us know in the live chat as we now get set for Q3. Already plenty of activity in the pit lane. I can already see Gregory Prisbill out on track. Al Karudin joining him as well. And very soon we'll see a flurry of more cars heading out as well. Oxchillo heading out for Ferrari. And here we go, the shootout. I can already see, I'm looking through some of the names already. Zervinks as well, saying George Morgan for pole. I'm on pole position every day. I get to do these broadcasts, guys. It's always a pleasure being part of the Oceania Invitational. Ryan Cox for pole. We're also seeing Surely Hunter knocks off Cox. Who's going to be the fastest Ryan among the top 10? We'll have to wait and see. We got more as well further down. Ox for pole, says ZK. We have got Cox as well, says official Burke. We've got plenty more. Ryan Hunter says Oscar as well. Incredible. I mean, give us your thoughts, Scotty. You know, you've witnessed a lot of these guys time and time again. Give me your thoughts. Who are the ones to watch for?
I think we've sort of said it before. It's going to be the 3 Ryans to watch out for. Ryan Hunter maybe just hasn't had the best Q1, Q2. He'll try and nail it and try and get that top time again like he did last week. Ryan Cox has been on form since he's left the garage tonight. Same as Gregory Prisbill's teammate. Not quite the pace, but yeah, it's a pick of any of them, to be honest. So I think I'm going to go Ryan Cox gets this, and he does it with a 15.
Well, we'll have to wait and see who's going to come out on top in this instance. We have got certainly a long session ahead. It's the shortest one of them all, but it's going to feel lengthy for all those that are now out on track. But yes, Gregory Prisbill, the first to venture in towards turn 1. And already we've seen the lap times come in as well. Al Karudin, nonetheless, has already flown through the first sector and has unleashed a 26.6 on the board and has caught up as well to his AlphaTauri teammate, Ryan Bell, who went fastest, one of the fastest cars in our previous session, has been consistently up at the front end. Al Karudin looking to join him. Al Karudin, incidentally, very fortunate to actually be in this session, was P10 come the end of Q2, so needs a decent run here at this point. A former race winner, though, back at the Oceania F1 Invitational 4, and that was back at Spa-Francorchamps. I remember interviewing him and how excited he was. And now returning once again here at the OFI5 as he now heads up towards the line. But let's see what time he posts. That's a 1:16.424, faster than the initial time he would have set in our previous session. But no doubt we will see faster. Gregory Prisbill will be, I would say, faster than that, because he has already gone purple in the first two sectors, stealing those times away from Al Karudin at 26.5 with a 17.2. Now what can he muster in that final sector to make it a trio of purple sectors in order to bump Al Karudin off the top? I have no doubt in my mind he will do that, and he certainly does. He is 75 thousandths faster than Al Karudin as he now strikes the top. Al Karudin, though, however, still holds the fastest third sector.
Yeah, and I'm watching Oxcello coming around the final corner now. Got a lovely toe from his teammate. So it crosses the line. Can they go top?
Wow.
They most certainly can. 16.183. Not quite the Q2 time. But that's a great opening lap time from Oxcello.
Yeah, and now we've got Ryan Bell joining the party as well. A 26.4 makes him purple in the first sector, getting a nice useful toe off Al Karudin, his teammate as well. You've got the perfect contrast between these two drivers, because obviously Al Karudin better in terms of race pace, arguably his strategy being his one of his plus points. Ryan Bell, pure pace. He is on top. He's just gone fastest as well in the second sector with a 17.231. Needs a decent third sector to try and topple Oxcello off the top. It's 1:16.183 to beat. Up at the very front of the order, Ryan Cox has just gone purple in the second sector as well. So once again, the Ryans starting to come to the forefront. A 16.092 from Ryan Bell. That is a blistering time to get his session underway, and drops Oxcello down into second. But Ryan Cox, a personal best in the first sector as you'd expect. No time currently registered for Ryan Cox here in this session, but he's done a 17.227, which is mere thousandths faster than Ryan Bell right at the front of the order. Here comes the Aston Martin, only enough for third fastest. Despite going purple in sector 2, it was only enough for third fastest. He was, though, however, faster in that second sector 2. That second sector 2 purple for Ryan Cox, but sectors 1, sectors 3 off by mere thousandths, and it has left for dead goes second fastest. Wow, the Ferrari's starting to collect here, Scotty.
Yeah, and we saw them quick at the end of the session last week. And yeah, Left 4 Dead and Oxcello, great lap times, great use of the toe. And Left 4 Dead's only 15 thousandths behind Ryan Bell. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Joshua Rimmer will be our final car to do a lap in this first part of quali. 5.5 minutes left to go in the session. So can Joshua get near his teammate Ron Hunter, who will be a little bit disappointed with a 16.3 for the first lap, P6, but you can see just how close the times are. Joshua comes around the final corner now, a bit of DRS to go towards the line. Can he find a good time? It was only a 16.6 and remains in P9. So after the first runs, it's Ryan Bell leading us, but it's the two Ferraris, Left 4 Dead and Oxcello. We said one of the three Ryans. I saw a lot in the chat, but Ferrari doing wonders at the moment. 16.1 for the pair of them. Yeah,
really positive start for them as well. We haven't necessarily seen them, should we say, this close together right at the front either. So credit to them for at least leaving their best to the very last minute. And this is the time to do it, because like they say, you know, you can go fastest in the first session of qualifying, even the second session of qualifying, but it's what you do in the third session that counts. It's just about getting secured and safe in the first two sessions, but you need to leave everything out on the track in your third session of qualifying in order to muster up a potential pole position. Currently, as it stands, it'll be Ryan Bell on pole. He is on provisional pole, at least for now, but 4 minutes and 30 could yet add a further twist in the tail. And we've still got Ryan Cox down in fourth. We still haven't seen Ryan Hunter give his best effort yet. He's only gone sixth fastest with a 1:16.350, and you can imagine as the fresh tyres are put onto the chassis, as soon as they're put on to the cars themselves, that is where we'll see, I think, some massive inroads for some of the drivers now as Joshua Rimmer comes into the pits. It's all quiet here at this point at Melbourne, and the sun still beaming down upon the circuit. No concerns of rain. We'll have a dry session right through here in qualifying, as now already we have some movement down in the garage already. Oxcello heading out onto the track, as is Gregory Prisbill, coming down into the final echelons here of qualifying. 3 minutes and 45 to go. Tell you what, you're in for a treat, folks. Once again, let us know who you think is going to take pole. It's going to be a furiously fast ending to qualifying. And already Ferrari sending out Oxchillo with Aston Martin sending out Gregory Prisbill, some familiar names that you would have seen in the past here in the OFI. And I'm sure they'll be looking to chase even grander results here in this case. But we've got a very tight finale here in this case, Scotty.
Yeah, and these guys would have practiced their toes for this situation, the final 3 minutes of Q3. Get their timings right, obviously 5 less cars on track, so hopefully traffic won't be too much of an issue as we saw in the previous session. But unfortunately, it's going to be Geordie Slater and Ecamm that, unfortunately, without the toe, you have a feeling they're probably going to end up potentially 9th and 10th. That's the unlucky benefit of not being able to sort of work with your teammate enough and have the pace to get into the final quali sessions. But it's all about who can ace this toe, give him the extra time. We know that Ryan Cox was quickest in that second sector, but lost a little bit in the third. So you feel like he's got a little bit of time to find, but Ryan Bell in the box seat at the moment, as this is going to be an absolute thriller final 2.5 minutes left in this Q3 session.
Certainly will. Oxchillo now heading through the final sector as he looks to get set for his flying lap, and will now make his way around the final 2 corners out of turn 16 and send it straight down through towards turn 1. What do you make of Ferrari in this one? Do you think they could pull out a clutch performance here, Scotty?
I think they can. The way that they've been working tonight so far, they're a sneaky shout. If Ryan Bell or if anybody else makes a mistake on their lap and they can just eke a little bit more time, especially for Left 4 Dead being so close to pole position, I would not be surprised if we see one Ferrari on the front row, if not on pole position. So we'll find that out, as Gregory was on a lap but is aborted. So
he's invalidated, in fact. He's invalidated the run. Oxchillo has actually gone purple in the first sector, even though he has got a sea of traffic in between him, but he has got his teammate Left 4 Dead very much up there as well. So we're now seeing yet some more inroads for the drivers, and set a personal best in the second sector as well. So it's all started to cascade downwards now. The delta's getting furiously faster. It's a 26.3 in sector 1 for Oxchillo. It's a 17.3 in the middle sector as well. We have seen 17.2s. Ryan Cox holds that at the moment, but a big sector 3 could be massive for the Ferrari outfit and Oxchillo as well, and the Wallaby Racing team, who are looking to try and muster their very best here in the OFI5 as they come out of the final corner now. Rear wing open here for the Ferrari. Can he topple Ryan Bell? No, he can't. Only enough to remain third fastest. He lost a lot of time coming through sector 3. Could not find that improvement. It was, though, a 1:16.131.
Yeah, and I'm on board with Karun. Great teammate, great toe from his teammate. Oh, a little bit sketchy through the final corner. Was slightly up on their time. Where can our go? Jumps into P5, 16.3. So not the game that he would have wanted, but he'll be happy if he can start around there with his race pace.
Well, I can tell you now, Ryan Hunter has just gone purple in the first sector and has just had and acquired a very useful toe. A little bit of a swapper coming through the fast left and right, but I don't think it'll concern him too much. He's done a 17.3 in sector 2 on top of the 26.3 he set in sector 1. Needs to put in a blistering third sector in order to topple Ryan Bell up at the front. Once again, it could be a tale of 3 Ryans. Ryan Cox also with a personal improvement in sector 1. Here comes Hunter coming through the final corner now out of turn 16. DRS opens up for him as well, hunting for that fastest time. He can't. He can go to provisional front row though. Checkered flag has come down, so now it's now or never for all these drivers. Ryan Cox with that personal best in the first sector. He has lost time though in sector 2, so he needs a stellar third sector in order to try and counter back the time, because currently as it stands it's Ryan Bell on pole position as now the Aston Martin curtails through this next right-hander. Needs to fly through turns 15 and 16 as he feathers that throttle. He'll stamp his foot straight back down. Ecamm currently 9th fastest. Joshua Rimmer won't go any higher than 10th. We've got Geordie Slater down in 6th. Ryan Cox will cross the line. Can't go any higher than 5th fastest. So it will be, in this case, I believe, Ryan Bell is on pole position ahead of our race here at Melbourne. The AlphaTauri answering back, and just for good measure sets a stellar 1:15.922, our first 1:15 of the session, and what timing to do it as well. Ryan Bell, fastest of anybody here in the OFI5.
Yeah, one for the lap for Ryan Bell. I picked the wrong Ryan, but we saw a 15.9, spectacular lap both of his laps would have put him on pole position. Fantastic speed. And yeah, they were a little bit off in Q1, but as I said, you build up to it, and absolutely flying with the AlphaTauri car. And Ryan Hunter thought he missed out by 1/1000th of a second, not quite. Ryan Cox, as we said, we thought he could have been right up there. He found that time that he lost in Sector 3. Problem is, he lost it in Sector 2 that lap, so he just couldn't get all 3 sectors right, and unfortunately, will be starting behind both Ferraris in P5.
Yeah, let's take you through the top 10. Can I just say, folks, incredible lap from Ryan Bell, managing to go faster than Ryan Hunter by nearly 2/10 of a second. It was only 300ths off 2/10 at that point. What a time from Ryan Bell. Didn't need to do it, but he did it anyway. A 15.9, the only 15.9 we've seen so far. Ryan Hunter in second, Left for Dead in third, Oxchillo in fourth. Still a great day for Ferrari and the Wallaby Racing team as well. Ryan Cox in fifth, Geordie Slater in sixth, Al Karudin in seventh. Will be looking to join his teammate through the course of the race to maximise their points. Remember, it's all about what you do as a team as well. Gregory Prisbill in 8th, as well as Ecam down in 9th, and Joshua Rimmer in 10th place. An incredible qualifying. So, it's the turn of the AlphaTauri, Scott, and what a session it was indeed. We'll be back with analysis just after this quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the OFI, and welcome back to OFI5 as well here at Melbourne. You're joined here with me, George Morgan, and Scotty, as we're about to take you through into the racing action. I can tell you it's all dry out on track right now as we look to get ourselves set ready for racing. I suppose the one thing we can be pleased about is that we haven't had any penalties during qualifying, so there shouldn't be a need for a lobby restart, we don't think. So we should be able to just go straight into the action. So do keep it with us, folks. Don't forget as well, get involved with the next level racing competition we have running here. Of course, proud partners here at Oceania F1 Invitational. Use hashtag NextLevelFGT, of course, to enter yourself to be in with a chance of winning a rig from our proud partners at Next Level Racing. It's going to be stellar. Can't wait for this one. Scotty, looking ahead to the race, I mean, it was a tremendous effort from the AlphaTauris right at the front. I mean, it was all about the Ryans, really. Unfortunately, not for Ryan Cox, just could not quite pull it out clutch. Oh, we have got action now, as we now head back into racing. Couldn't quite analyse it enough, as now we hit pedal to the metal. And it is go, 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 go. Ryan Bell gets off the line well. From pole position, still leads the way. Ryan Hunter in second, Left for Dead in third, Oxchillo in fourth. And now as they burst out of turns 1 and turns 2, Joshua Rimmer and Frosty also coming together. Geordie Slater as well going down the inside here of Ryan Cox. Makes his way through towards turn 3. They're going to run wheel to wheel on the escape now through towards turn 4. Still together, the Aston Martin trying to fight back, but Ryan Cox defiant against here Geordie Slater, but he's coming straight back at him again. They've been wheel to wheel right through the first sector. A stellar display from 2 drivers, but they're all spinning at the back. Incredible moment here at the race start, Scotty.
Yeah, not sure if there was contact, but unfortunately a couple of drivers getting caught up towards the back. Thankfully our front runners have gotten through. No intervention of the VSC or safety car as of yet. So really unfortunate for those guys, but Ryan Bell just managing to get the better start. And we are currently all positions down to 9th at the same spot as we've gone back green flag racing.
Yeah, no concerns here at this point. Yusuf Goat now up to 15th as well. We're seeing some movement further back with Roscoe ahead of Rapid Relics. So now we head through the final corner and then we'll commence lap 2 of 29. Still a long way to go. Of course, we've got pit stops in between as well. Ryan Bell taking the fastest lap, as you'd expect at the conclusion of the opening lap. As now we see them head through this next left again, coming out of turn 2. Ryan Hunter just watching it all over the rear of the AlphaTauri of Ryan Bell, with Left for Dead in third place. The two Ferraris still very up close and personal, as we're now seeing some battles with SVYT15 now up to 11th place ahead of Checkered Flag. And now he's got to try and close that gap, because he's 1.3 behind the McLaren in 10th place. He can't stay there for too long here, Scotty, because it will mean he'll lose DRS, and Al Karudin has gone fastest of anybody in the first sector.
Yeah, Al needs to, obviously on those medium compounder tyres, will be a little bit quicker. Wanted to try and make a couple of passes in the opening stage. Still currently in P7. Further back, we've got the Haas's swapping positions. But I have a feeling that Ryan Hunter won't really try and force issue here. Obviously, long race yet to go. They'll just sort of stick with the leader, Ryan Bell. And the two Ferraris are sitting very nice, very comfortably in P3, P4, Left for Dead. Getting close to the rear of the Red Bull, so it'd be interesting to see if the Ferraris maybe think about pushing this pace and trying to get a move done, as we will have DRS activated the next lap, as thankfully we've still got all the top 16 still within DRS of each other, as Ryan Hunter sets the fastest lap on the hard tyres, as that's constantly changing. Frosty down in P9 with the fastest lap on those fresh medium tyres.
Yeah, went purple in the first sector. Now, he is on that initial medium tyre stint. Will need to put those to work in the opening sessions of this race. Ideally try and get himself ahead of a few hard runners, but the hard tyre is not a bad race tyre here in this version of the game. So, obviously, they can utilise it to their benefits. If you are up at the front end on that hard tyre, it is better in terms of your own race. Generally, if you can go against the grain on the strategy. The one driver I'm actually looking at in that case is Jordan Arnold. He's occupied an initial stint on the soft tyres. Already we have seen some pit stops as well. Clicks coming in, Rapid Relics, as well as we now see SVT15 now coming under pressure from Jordan Arnold, who very swiftly dispatches SVYT, and that is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to get himself higher and higher, as we see a move for the lead. Ryan Hunter immediately now tagging Ryan Bell and the Red Bull ahead of the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, and you can see Geordie Slater getting past Al, staying ahead of Al just barely, but I think we'll have lost DRS 1.1. He most certainly will, so Geordie Slater will be under massive attack, as Gregory in P8 trying to get past the pair of them. Obviously, nothing will be done here, and this is what we were sort of saying in qualifying. If you're the third car in the train, you're sort of just waiting for the car in front to potentially get a move done, as Frosty on the medium tyres, great exit through turns 1 and 2. And Frosty didn't quite have the move done, so we'll sit back. Jordan Arnold up 7 spots now as he gets the move done on Ecom. So Jordan Arnold making those soft tyres and wanting to get up this field quickly early on.
He locked up the tyres coming through turn 3 though, but it didn't upset his move. Managed to get it done on Ecam, and will now look to try and close the gap between he and Frosty, but it's 1.8 seconds. Needs to try and get back to within DRS. Roscoe, though, obtaining a 3-second time penalty. It just has not gone to plan for him. Neither has it gone to plan for the likes of Seb, Joshua Rimmer, Clicks, or Rapid Relics, who have all had to box. In comes Ecam now straight away, who looks to try and challenge through the very unorthodox left and right. And oh no! That's Jordan Arnold rounded in the wall. And on the soft tyres, as we see another turn up for the lead up at the front end. We got Left for Dead as well, looking up the inside of Ryan Hunter. It's starting to kick up a notch here. Tensions furious here at this stage, and certainly with the very early goings. Very rarely do we see it happen in the opening stint of the race, where moves to the lead are recurring. And further back, a tie-up coming through the very fast left and right at turn 11 and 12, upsetting Jordan Arnold's race. And being on that soft tyre, you could effectively call that race over.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Jordan Arnold with that collision, but yeah, definitely the top two swapping positions. It's not at turn 9 what I was sort of expecting. They need the car in second needs just to get that extra bit of DRS, but having a great run through 9 and 10. So it's just going to be a matter of just waiting for a mistake to maybe try and push. But all the battling these top two are doing, it's sort of not helping break the top 9. Frosty at the back of this train. Just sit comfortably on the medium tyres at the moment, as I switch back up to the top, as Ryan Hunter's closing in as we round the lake, as we come into turns 9 and 10. And as we saw before, Ryan Hunter looks good as we got checkered flag getting past Eakham at turn 9. Ryan Hunter doesn't go for the move, so we'll sit back in P2.
Yeah, you'll remain there. Frosty as well on the back of Gregory Prisbill. So look to fight further down. And also see Noodles making moves as well past Roscoe, who's obviously also sustained that time penalty. Left for dead, getting closer to the back of the front two. As Frosty now looks to try and gain on Gregory Prisbill in his own right, in his own quest to move higher within the top 10. Geordie Slater also looking imposing here too. Yusuf goes, a checkered flag now going at it, heading down the straight, and you can enter Eakham into the fight as well. Eakham going for a double in towards turn 1. Really left it late, had a really late look late in the day. As I said, the hard tyre, not a bad race tyre, as SVT also looks to challenge as well. Takes the wide line, heading through towards turn 3, is forced to back out of it somewhat as checkered flag goes ultimately defensive, coming through turn 4, and unfortunately for SVYT, unable to get the move done.
Yeah, and Eakham doing a pretty good job considering that I can see that he's got a little bit of wing damage, so he's struggling in sector 3 a little bit. Yusuf got past him on the previous lap, so we just need to try and hang on to the Alpha Romeo, in front. But you can just see the battle this group has. They're 3.5 seconds behind the top group as Eakham thought about a move down the inside of Yusuf. Yusuf gets him back. As we're side by side, Yusuf and Eakham, this battle, and we've got to go 3 wide into turn 11. Checkered flag down the inside of one car, but Eakham just holds it. We're all still cleanly through. Great battling with this group, but they've just lost another couple of seconds to that top pack, so the battling's been great, but they're just losing hand over fist to the top group.
Yeah, and SVYT losing his end plate off his front wing and is forced to come into the pit, so that's unfortunate for him, and we'll get that changed further back. Noodles gaining on the back of Roscoe as well, who was watching everything unfold right in front of him. They were 1.3 seconds apart, as now we see them come out of turn 2 and down through towards turn 3. DRS now open once again, this time checkered flag all on the back of Eakham in that battle for 10th place, but in this case no move going here at this point. We've got Ryan Cox up in P5, also on the back of Oxchillo. We have got now them all clubbing together up at the front end. It may still be Ryan Bell at the head of the order, but Ryan Hunter still closing him down as they head through the very fast left and right, and the Red Bull now screams around the outside of the Alpha Tauri, and Ryan Hunter takes the lead of the race as they venture through turns 11 and 12. They've got Ascari coming up. Ryan Bell now reduced to second, but he might get a chance to stand back, heading through with DRS, chooses not to, remains in P2.
Yeah, these two having a cracker battle up front, just changing positions, and they're doing it in a great way that it's not allowing the Ferraris to have a sniff to get back past them. So, as I said, everyone else is just sort of stuck in a bit of a DRS train. The two medium runners are just hurting a little bit. They'd want to get a couple of positions, but obviously they'll be in on a new set of hard tyres. They'll try and get a bit of an undercut, see if they can try and get ahead of this group. But the big worry is obviously everybody on the medium will be switching to the medium tyres. They'll be a bit of a sitting duck, unfortunately.
Yeah, certainly will. And already, as you can see, we've got split strategies across the grid. We saw Jordan Arnold going out on the softs, but unfortunately getting spun on the outset of coming out of turn 12. And of course, venturing into sector 3 on that occasion. We're still witnessing another battle up at the front, and it's between the two Ryans. We've got Ryan Hunter and Ryan Bell, who've been swapping now the lead since the beginning of this race. And I think whilst obviously they're trying to play DRS chicken to a degree to just try and keep those in behind, you know, you've got the top 6 that are all on the same hard tyres, so effectively nullifies the strategy that potentially some of the medium tyre runners are utilising. And we'll have to wait and see, because Al Karudin have alluded to his brilliance where it comes to making these things work. As we now see checkered flag and Eakham coming together. And in this instance, 6.8 seconds behind Frosty out on track. The top 9 all clubbed together at this stage. Eakham forced to wait in behind, but it's all unfolded in the opening stint. We're on lap 8 of 29, which will soon become lap 9 of 29. Now DRS once again will open up as Ryan Bell gets back into position behind Ryan Hunter. Some of them just breaking away out of the train in order to try and cool the engine down. Obviously you don't want that to overheat, because it will mean that you sacrifice that horsepower, that speed that you're looking for. And you need to maximise your engine power as much as your ERS and your tyre grip as well alike. It's all about race management, and that's exactly the finer details that these drivers need to be aware of.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys in the train know they just can't get past, so they are doing that management, and they're doing it nicely. So they'll try and extend if they can. Obviously, maybe hope for that safety car that may happen, but we've been really clean so far, just except for a couple of little incidents on lap 1, and a couple of guys having to pit in front with damage. But it's been very clean so far. Ryan Bell not quite close enough through 9 and 10, but we'll get a bit of DRS, about 2.5 tenths. I'd imagine we'll go for the move down the inside. Most certainly Will has the inside line, and we'll take P1, and Ryan Hunter has to be a little bit careful because left for dead right on the gearbox of the Red Bull. So just waiting for that one mistake from the top two, and both rows will try and pinch as we come around the final corner now. Just about to start lap 10 of 29, so we're about a third race distance already in, and it's the two Ryans out in front, and Ryan Bell will lead into turn 1.
Yeah, and I must say, it's been a very patient performance so far from both Ferraris, a very carefully measured one. So for Wallaby Racing, this is working out relatively decently right now. We'll have to wait and see whether it will pan out that they will be victors come the end of the day. Obviously, you've got to remember, this takes into account both drivers as part of their teams, as we now see them head through out of the initial sector and in towards sector 2 now at turn 6 and 7. Still Ryan Bell up at the front, 10 laps concluded. Not quite halfway yet, but still in the initial stints, and you will imagine that those on the hard tyres are going to go considerably longer on this strategy to perhaps then lay claim to a run on the soft tyres later on into the race. Is now once again Ryan Hunter all over the back this time of Ryan Bell. And we'll open up the DRS, and without any shadow of a doubt, I'm sure we'll look to make the move heading in towards turn 13. No, remains in behind, and that was a shocker. I think Left for Dead thought he might go for it as well. Now that opens up a potential chance for the Ferrari in order to perhaps improve its own positioning as they head through, but deciding to remain where they are. You can just see the train in behind as well. The gap's also starting to formulate between ECAM in P10 and 9th, which is where Frosty currently operates, 8.3. Remember, the gap was 6 seconds. It's now been enlarged by yet another 2 seconds. We now see the cars head down in towards turn 1, lap 11 of 29. It's Ryan Bell out in front with Ryan Hunter in second place. Third as well for Left for Dead, who is now tracking the front two, with further back as well coming into the fight Geordie Slater on the tail of Ryan Cox as well. We have yet to see Ryan Cox move one iota yet. We know his 1 lap pace. Can he muster his race pace?
Yeah, not only that, the top 8 haven't actually moved up a position at all. So they've got away cleanly at the start, and they've just sort of been in this foal. It's only been the top 2 that have changed places. Ryan Hunter, that 2 and a bit tenths behind. So again, potentially not the move done. It's a little bit of a lift. You've got to be careful with the third place car so close behind. You can't sort of lift a little bit, because that does open up the door for Left 4 Dead. And Left 4 Dead's been really on the hunt the last couple of laps, as Ryan Hunter has to go around the outside, and I thought the Ferrari was going to feed in that outside gap. Not quite, but Left 4 Dead's hungry. He wants to get a bit of a move on here.
Yeah, Ryan Hunter really picking his spot to make the overtake happen. He had his chance coming in towards the quick left and right, opted to back out of it and save it for the DRS heading in towards Ascari corner. It did open up the door potentially for Left 4 Dead, who did have a look around that wider side, but with Ryan Bell going defensive to the inside, it defended the place. Frosty and Al Karudin coming together, because Al Karudin now in the pits. That's one of our first official pit stops. Obviously, the others were all done due to damage. Al Karudin coming in for his strategic pit stop. Obviously, as in terms of what he had obviously planned coming into this race. Ryan Hunter now starting to break away slightly from Ryan Bell in behind. There's a little bit of a gap forming here, Scotty.
Yeah, obviously just went a little bit better in that first sector. Ryan Bell, maybe a slight mistake, but we'll still have DRS, and that's the thing for DRS zones. If you make a little bit of mistake, but still within 1 second, you'll just close right that up. And as we can sort of see, that gap coming down, it was 7 tenths. It'll be 4 tenths, 3 tenths by the time we get to the second, the chicane, sorry, and already closing that gap back up. So, as I said, you make a mistake, but DRS is so powerful around here that you can just stick with the car in front. And Ryan Bell won't go for a move. Ecam further down in P9 as just makes the move done. A little bit of lag, but checkered flag trying to fight back. And I've got a little bit of a worry here for Au, who's just boxed, because he's only 6 seconds behind this group. If he catches it, he's going nowhere, unfortunately. So that's the big risk about the undercut. They haven't cleared this battle. But Ryan Bell's coming in, actually. So
Very
both
early.
AlphaTauris coming in off the hard compounded tyres. So Ryan Bell will have the same issue. Will come out probably around his teammate, depending on how good ours outlap was. But you can just see the cars behind them. They're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Ryan Bell actually does come out in front of his teammate, but it's an awkward pit entry. Does manage to get it slowed down. So do the guys up front, all Ryan's pit stop, do they have to follow him in? I think he has to. Those mediums are going to be quick and clear air.
Well, I mean, they're going to have to respond at some point. Ryan Hunter may be at the front right now, but obviously knowing that Ryan Bell has made the decision to jump onto the mediums this early, I was quite surprised to see them jump this quick. I have to say myself, I was kind of expecting the hard runners to take it as far as they could and then perhaps finish on the softs later on. Checkered flag now going for the move around the outside of Ecamm, and that is a move for 8th place now once again. The gap now increasing between Frosty and those behind to 10 seconds. It's been steadily increasing as time has gone on. Similar, remember when we saw a few laps ago, it was only 6 seconds. It is now jumped up from 6 to 10, as now we see Gregory Prisbill come into the pit. So we are seeing a few others. He had to be very hard on the brakes in order to slow down. Remember, we've got a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit heading through the pit lane. Medium tyres now put onto the Aston Martin. Gregory Prisbill now venturing out onto the track. Checkered flag also coming into the pits as well. Is going to take off those hard tyres as now we see them come straight back out again. And Al Karudin setting the fastest lap of the race as well. So the pace is with the AlphaTauris here in this instance, Scotty.
Yeah, problem is they're about just over a second behind that pack of drivers that we've been mentioned in that second group. So Ryan Bell will get DRS, but all the guys in front will have DRS. The undercut is quicker, but how much time will they lose? And will the guys in front know that they're a little bit quicker than this group? Do they decide to maybe stay out a little bit longer? They might lose track position, but they'll have much fresher tyres. As we got close with Ryan Cox trying to go down the inside of Oxcello, that got close onto the grass, but has the inside line. Can he make it stick? Ferrari versus Aston, and it's still side by side coming around turn 12 now. And unfortunately, Ryan Cox doesn't get the position as Geordie Slater trying to maybe see if there was a move there. Ryan Cox is actually in, so both AlphaTauris, both Astons doing the undercut. So both Ferraris are staying out along with Ryan Hunter.
Yeah, so there we have it. That is the response to Ryan Bell, who's going wheel to wheel with Noodles as well. So the undercut has gained massively in this stage because we know that Ryan Cox is yet to even get into his pit bay. A great call, could be a genius call for the race spec cars, as now Al Karudin once again takes the fastest lap of the race. Both AlphaTauris down, bursting through turns 1 and 2. There is Ryan Cox and Gregory Prisbill, I should say, in the background. So AlphaTauri have pulled a sensational undercut here, but they need to get past this traffic ASAP. Scotty.
Yeah, they're got through fairly cleanly at the moment, cleaner than what I thought they would have been, just using the extra grip on those medium tyres. And you can see right behind Yusuf is Ryan Bell, so should have the perch off of turn 6, turn 7. You can just see how wide, how slippery Yusuf was off the corner and already side by side. So this undercut definitely has worked because they managed to get past the traffic a lot quicker than what I thought. And now only has one car that won't have DRS. So Ryan Bell should clear this car at turn 11 and have all the clear air he wants.
Yeah, he certainly will. Al Karudin now jumping out of Roscoe as well. He's going to try and take on Yusuf Goat. His teammate Ryan Bell taking down Ecamm as well for that. What looks to be 6th place out on track. A great move from Al Karudin. Heading through towards turn 13. He is dropping them like flies as they head through this next right-hander. 2 more corners to go here on lap 16. More cars coming in the pits. Geordie Slater left for dead. The first of the Ferraris to jump, as well as Ryan Hunter coming in for Red Bull as well. So that is one of the leaders coming into box, as now Al Karudin with the DRS, the straight line speed in his favour on the hard tyres. Through turn 1 he goes and blasts through to P4 out on track. And look at the clean air that Ryan Bell has now got. He is 12 seconds behind those ahead of him, and obviously when they pit, he will be your race leader. He's your net leader right now.
Yeah, AlphaTauri absolutely called this. We knew Racebeck was going to be competitive in the race. We knew Ryan Bell had pole. We know he has the great race pace, but an excellent strategy call, managing to get the move done. Ryan Cox and Yusuf side by side. Ryan Cox does get the move up into P7. Needs to really get past these cars. Needs to get on the back of these this train as Ryan Hunter moves up ahead of Yusuf as well. Thankfully, it's all looking clean with these moves. Guys on the fresher rubber just easily breezing past through these guys. Both Aston's 5th and 6th at the moment. For flashback, they need to close with it. Ryan needs to close back behind his teammate to DRS, otherwise he'll start losing as Oxchillo finally in. But I have a feeling these guys are just going to lose way too much time. But interesting to see if they actually maybe try the soft compounded tyres to maybe do something different.
I think they will have to try something, though. Oxchillo has jumped onto the mediums. Frosty has jumped onto the softs. So there we go. Ryan Bell will now cross the line to commence lap 17, and he'll be our race leader as well. But look at Gregory Prisbill, who has caught up with Al Karudin, and he has got 2 lap pressure tyres than the hards being adopted by Al Karudin as well. So the question is, does Al Karudin become a giant wall to protect his teammate further up, and nudge in the back there, as you can see the 2 Astons coming together with the AlphaTauri ahead of them as well. We have got a race on our hands here. It's Ryan Bell out in front, being protected by his teammate Al Karudin as they come through the next right-hander, heading out of turn 6 and 7. Once again, they'll have DRS as well coming through here at this point now, and he knows, Al Karudin, that he's going to be under threat, because here comes the Aston Martins. Gregory Prisbill and Ryan Cox, they're double teaming the AlphaTauri as they head through towards the right and left. Goodness me, Ryan Cox, he even tried for the lead, but I tell you what, he could not quite do it. Al Karudin has lost out twice, and now Ryan Hunter is closing him down.
Yeah, great call, and unfortunately Al just does not have the grip on the hard tyres, even with DRS. I think Ryan Bell was giving his teammate DRS, but did not happen. It did not matter whatsoever. Both Aston Martins burning their battery, just getting the move done. And Ryan Cox and Gregory Prisbill in the box seat at the moment. Ryan Bell doesn't have a teammate anymore, and they have the fresher tyres. Do both Astons as Left 4 Dead picks up the fastest lap in a bit of clear air, so he'll get to the back of this pack as Yusuf picks up a speeding lane penalty, unfortunately. But Ryan Cox, now how does he play it as, look at Ryan Hunter.
Yeah, they're all
around the outside.
They're all going at it, They're wheel to wheel now, making their way through now in towards Sector 2. And just look at it, the Aston and the Red Bull. Ryan Hunter forced to back off. Prisbill managing to hold on to the Tiger line as they head through in towards the next right and left again. Out of turn 6 and 7, it is still Bell out in front, but Cox is closing him down. The 2 Ryans up at the front end. Now look at a duel around Albert Park. Now once again, they'll venture through to the fast left and right, coming through turns 11 and 12. And now Cox round the outside. The bell has been tolled here for Ryan Bell as Gregory Prisbill joins him now in second place. Aston Martin in full control here at this stage, but Ryan Bell will have DRS as now he looks to try and bring on the attack. Ryan Hunter also coming into the fight as they run wheel to wheel, coming through Ascari at turn 13. It's Red Bull v AlphaTauri, but Hunter hunting him down and moves up to 3rd.
Oh, and Left 4 Dead nearly had a look down the inside, not quite, but Ryan Bell went from 1st to 4th just because he didn't have the DRS in the 2 sector zones, and Aston Martin currently 1 and 2. So Ryan Cox and Gregory, interesting to see how they play as Ryan Bell just moved out for a second. Thought he might have tried to move. We'll have to sit back at P4, but it is going to be a DRS train. As you can see, majority of the guys that had a bit of clear air have actually caught this pack, so we've still got an 8-car train. Frosty on those soft compounded tyres trying to close back up. But it's flat. It's Aston Martin 1 and 2. Didn't quite work for the Raceback boys when they tried it with Al on the hard compounded tyres. How will they go? Ryan Cox has a half-second lead, but I think Gregory might be in a little bit of trouble. Ryan Hunter right on the back, about 2.5 seconds, 2.5 tenths behind. Sorry.
Yeah, it was looking good for Flashback Racing right now. It was looking good for Raceback earlier on. We thought they pulled off a genius strat in the initial. It looked like it worked brilliantly, but now it's starting to fall apart. And Ryan Bell, now down in 4th. Al Karudin is now down in 8th spot as well. Whilst they're all within DRS, track position is vital at this stage, as we're now seeing the tussle up at the top with Ryan Hunter trying to come into the fight. Unfortunately, his teammates down in the bottom 10. Currently sat 15th as well, and still yet to... Well, he's got 17 laps amassed on his medium tyres. Remember, he was part of the initial incident that occurred at the start of the race. But a chance here for Ryan Hunter now to take on Gregory Prisbill as they burst down now the long stretch in towards turn 1. Lap 20 of 29, only 9 laps to go. And I tell you what, great chance here now for the Aston Martins up at the front. Ryan Cox with that brilliant pace that he showed in qualifying, much like Gregory Prisbill, who's showing that race trim pace as well, flexing the race trim muscle there for the Aston Martins and moving on up here at this point. He started P8, did Gregory Prisbill. Ryan Cox starting P5. Both Astons ascending brilliantly with our Red Bull stuck behind him. Remember, Ryan Hunter starting on the front row of the grid in P2 as 3-second time penalty for Roscoe as well here on lap 20. As now they head through this next portion of track. Now Hunter going wheel to wheel with Gregory Prisbill. The Aston and the Red Bull coming together, but Ryan Hunter getting the move done in sensational fashion. He might even get a chance to unleash the overspeed for the lead of the race now. You'll have DRS, this time on Ryan Cox. Once again, we've got 2 Ryans coming together now as they head down in towards the next right-hander at turn 13. Not quite enough, but still, Ryan Hunter in full pursuit, and he has a lap fresher tyres than Ryan Cox.
Yeah, wanted to burn a little bit. I think he knew he did not want the teammates together in 1 and 2, at least this way. The second teammate can't dictate pace and let the first driver get ahead, so all important for Ryan Hunter just to sit back. He may not push the issue at the moment, but again, we've got 8 laps left, and with how close this field is, it's just going to be one mistake that does it. Gregory's actually lost a little bit of time and he's in trouble. I think Ryan Bell may want to think about a pass at turn 3. He won't, but Gregory just needs to catch back up. It's about half a second, so maybe a little bit of a mistake in that last half minute, but he'll be sorted. But the 2 Ferraris in P5, P6, they want to get a bit of a hurry on. They're right on the back of Ryan Bell, and I have a feeling we might see a little bit of battery juice boosted as we got Left 4 Dead going around potentially the outside. Sort of not a great place to go around the outside at turn 9. Unfortunately, they can't. Meanwhile, Ryan Cox at the front, 2.5 tenths out of the chicane. I think will be right coming into the corner as Left 4 Dead trying to get past Ryan Bell, but Ryan Bell placing his car superbly, so they remain in the same positions, P4, P5.
Yeah, they certainly do, and I just want to say a huge shout out to everyone tuning in right now. We're on the cusp of breaking 300 live viewers here at the Oceania F1 Invitational. Thank you all for tuning in. It certainly is a historic moment. We've got a mega fight now for the lead of this race, and certainly to become an OFI5 winner overall. It's massive for the Australian teams who are looking to obviously etch their names into history with their own drivers, as we now see them make their way down through towards turn 3 again. Lap 22 of 29, as we now see more tyres locking up slightly as they now break away through towards turn 4 and then through towards turn 5. And I can confirm we have hit 300 live viewers. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for the support. Give yourselves a big pat on the back. Brilliant stuff, Scotty.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful for the racing community here in the region, as we've got a great battle on our hands for the race lead. Ryan Cox versus Ryan Hunter. Ryan Hunter will retake the race lead with 7.5 laps left to go, but this is not over by a long shot. Ryan Cox won't quite have DRS to help him down at turn 11, but it's going to be a fascinating fight. Still, the top 8 cars still within this train. Frosty at the back on the soft compounded tyres. He's matching it with the big boys. Great to see him right up there representing DRS. But yeah, it's going to be tight. Ryan Hunter, he'll lead, but it's going to be so hard to break this train. It's just going to be all about ERS management when you want to be the lead car and have to start thinking about where they want to go, as we got Left 4 Dead down the inside at turn 1 on Ryan Bell, and he gets the job done, manages to keep it within the track limits. Oh, and a bit of a wiggle, I think it was from the AlphaTauri, and that allows the other Ferrari come through as we come into turn 3. There's a little bit of contact between.
Oh no!
And there's contact. Ox is in the wall. So at the back of the train, hopefully doesn't have wing damage. But Left 4 Dead is ahead of Ryan Bell, but that has opened up the gap to 1.2 seconds, and this may have just cost these guys a chance at the podium.
Yeah, it might well have done. Oxchillo will not be on the podium should it stay like this as well. And we've got more fighting happening further up as we go 3 wide, heading in towards the next left and right. And Ryan Bell trying to take down Geordie Slater, who gets collected into the barrier. And hopefully he hasn't got any damage either, but it's going to come straight back at Ryan Bell this time because he's got DRS. And the Mercedes ascends, goes down the inside, enter Frosty into the fight. Where on earth has he come from here at this point as well? But it's Geordie Slater who has somehow dug deep and has taken P4 away from Ryan Bell as Clicks has left the session.
Yeah, unfortunate. These guys have to settle down. Geordie Slater up in a P4. These guys have to work together to get back within DRS of the top 3. They can't afford to be fighting like they just were this last half last lap, because it was great to watch, but they're now nearly 2 seconds behind as Geordie Slater picks up a 3-second time penalty. That will throw him right down the pack. Left for Dead having a penalty as well. Ox does have a little bit of front wing damage, unfortunately, so won't be able to do much, you'd imagine, in terms of pace. But really unfortunate. It was slight contact, but it's very tight to go side by side between 3 and 4, and unfortunately there was both rows, unfortunately, at the back of the pack now. Frosty doing a great drive on those soft compounded tyres. He may struggle towards the end in terms of tyre wear, but holding his own definitely in P6. Meanwhile, the top 3 have gapped. Gregory just holding on within DRS. Got to be careful not to lose that. As Ryan and Geordie Slater fighting. And I'll let you call down to turn 11.
Well, you can see them now all bunching up, and the Ferrari now being allowed back in. Left for Dead going for it now as they go 3 wide, near enough, heading through towards the next right-hander. Frosty right in the thick of it. He's on the soft tyres. They've allowed Ryan Bell to tank onwards here, and Left for Dead has managed to get past Geordie Slater. Oxchillo also trying to advance his own cause as we see them all coming back together up at the front end. But just look at that gap between Ryan Bell and Gregory Principal now. Due to all that fighting, it's now 3 seconds between the AlphaTauri and the Aston Martin up at the front end, as now Ryan Cox once again regroups on the back of Ryan Hunter's car. It's now become a 3-way fight, and I must say, just by sheer numbers alone, it's got to be advantage Aston Martin. It's got to be advantage Flashback Racing, with Ryan Hunter still leading.
Yeah, exactly right. All these guys will, these 3 will build up battery as much as they can. They've got to think about Ryan Hunter. Does he want to lead into the final lap, knowing that he's got 4 DRS zones to contend with? It's going to be that strategy play. Gregory hanging on in there, and if the top 2 make contact, he's in the perfect position to clean up the pieces. But at the moment, it will be Flashback with P2 and P3 will be winning the team event. It's just going to be a matter of who can step on that top step as the driver. Ryan Hunter has the advantage with track position at the moment, but we've seen plenty of moves down here at turn 11, and it's pretty much your pick of the top 3 nearly in terms of who actually will be the OFI5 winner.
Yeah, we're coming down to the dying laps now. We're on lap 25, it'll soon be 26, and then we'll have 4 laps, including the one we'll be on. Of course, as we come into the final echelons now, there's Clix's car. Of course, back marker at this point has rejoined the session, but it's been a tough day for him as well. It's been a tough day for the likes of Jordan Arnold. That was a big shocker right at the start as well as many others that got collected in the initial stages of the race. But great to see them still persevering and still continuing despite the challenges they've all faced, and heading through out of turn 3. Ryan Cox now working to close up the gap once again on Ryan Hunter. Doesn't want to lose him too much, but shouldn't have too much deficit on the tyres here, Scotty. Because whilst obviously Ryan Hunter's only got 10 laps accrued on his medium tyres, Ryan Cox only has 1 more lap than that.
Yeah, so you would imagine that would make a ton of difference. It's just going to be the driver making sure that they get their lines properly through the corners. They don't just put the pedal to the throttle just a little bit too early. They just need to race what they have been the last 26 laps. Just manage. They'll get into a rhythm. As we can see, Ryan Cox, I think, just going to happily just sit beside. It'll be interesting to see if Ryan just feels like he can attack on the last lap. Will just sit, save as much ARS as they can. But as I said, Ryan Hunter also saving. It's going to be a fascinating fight. And as we come into the final 3 laps, no safety cars, which has been very good to see. All 20 drivers still in this race. It's going to be a fascinating fight as Yusuf gets to move past Noodles. Remember, Yusuf starting at the back of the field, up 9 spots, mind you. So Yusuf's having a good run on those set of soft compounder tyres in 11th.
Yep. We now see them now on lap 27, head down towards turn 3. Once again, the two Aston Martins in full control. The gap between Frosty and Gregory Prisbill now stands at 3.8. Credit to Frosty. Went a little different than anybody else, and it's paid off. He will finish, of course, 4th place should it remain like this. And I'm sure that'll go a long way. Of course, Left for Dead and Geordie Slater shouldn't worry him too much, given the fact that they've all got penalties. So should be in a good spot where he currently sits right now. I think Ryan Cox in this case, Scotty, I'm not sure whether you can correspond with this, perhaps just trying to get that battery saved as he now gets right onto the tail of Ryan Hunter. Once again coming through the fast left and right. We'll have DRS again, might even try and challenge Ryan Hunter heading in towards the next corner at turn 13. Is he going to back off? Yes, he certainly will. I get the feeling there might be some ERS saving here on the part of the Aston Martins.
Yeah, they're working well, and both Astons actually doing a lot trying to get through the guys after that after the pit stop. So they made use of it, and with the battling that they had, we got plenty of battling heading down. Geordie Slater, Ryan Bell. So still mayhem in this second group. Both Ferraris going side by side into the last corner. So this is allowing Frosty to get away. Frosty might be able to steal the net people without without anyone challenging behind. But Geordie Slater, with that 3-second penalty, unfortunately, will be dropping back. Ryan Bell just struggling on those medium compounded tyres. He had the lead at one point after the pit stops, but he's just sort of fallen back and just hasn't quite had the pace to sort of break this group when he was in front. So we'll be P6 at the moment, up to P5. Both Ferraris just at the back of this pack. But yeah, unfortunately, a little bit of contact between 3 and 4 has just hampered a couple of these drivers' chances for a podium. And as we can see, gap is 4.2 seconds. And it's going to be Ryan Hunter, Ryan Cox. Does Ryan Cox go for the move? Not at the entry to turn 9. What about turn 11? Does he want to lead into the final lap? I don't see any ARS usage, so this is going to be a one-lap shootout, and it's going to be Ryan Hunter who has the advantage of track position, but has 4 DRS zones to navigate to the 2 cars behind him.
Yeah, we do have to wonder whether it will just be Ryan Cox who attempts to make the move on Ryan Hunter, or would he bring along his teammate Gregory Prisbill into the fight as well? As they now come around the final corner, the penultimate lap will come to an end, and we will venture onto the final lap here in the OFI5, here at Albert Park, here at Melbourne, home of the Australian Grand Prix. And it's Ryan Hunter who leads the way, but for how much longer, you'd fathom, because Ryan Cox is getting closer. It's a battle between the Red Bull racing car of Ryan Hunter and Ryan Cox's Aston Martin, as well as Gregory Prisbill just in behind. Of course, should it stay like this, a brilliant day it will be for Flashback Racing. They will take the team's title should it stay like this, as we now ride on board with Ryan Cox. He will make his way through this segment of circuit now. DRS will open up. He's in with a chance here in this case, Scotty.
Yeah, it's going to be close. You'd imagine not at turn 9. It will have to be at turn 11. Problem is he needs to get through cleanly. No, he's going to go at turn 9 down the inside. That will give him DRS. It will give him DRS to turn 11, but he has the poor exit. But Ryan Hunter has a snap. Both drivers will be burning ARS. Does Ryan Cox defend the inside? No, he doesn't have to. Ryan Hunter has got 3 corners left to navigate. Can he get past the Aston Martin? It's going to be interesting as we go into turn 13.
Yeah, coming through the final 2 corners now, Ryan Cox, a tremendous spirited drive, and I must say, it's going to be a great day for Flashback Racing. No flashbacks required. They'll look back on this one, I'm sure, with joy, as Ryan Cox takes victory here in Australia and here in the OFI5 as well. A grandiose result for the Aston Martin represented team Flashback Racing, who have taken the team's championship. And I must say, what an event it has been. Credit to Ryan Hunter, gave it his best, started second, he finished second, but it's all down to Flashback Racing this time around. Credit to Frosty as well, who started P11, finishing in P4. But it's Ryan Cox, your winner here at Melbourne. What a performance, Scotty.
Yeah, fantastic effort for Ryan Cox. He didn't quite get the quality position that he wanted, up 4 positions. Absolutely nailed, I thought, turn 11, but he sent the lunge down at turn 9 and got the job done, able to defend with DRS, and then absolutely drove fantastically through the final sector. It got close to the line. As you can see, Ryan Hunter off by a 1/10 of a second, but Ryan Cox absolutely nailed that beautifully. Ryan picks up the win. Flashback a very new league. I'm lucky enough to be one of the founding admin members for that. The guys have done a great job building that league up to what it is in such a short period of time. And the two drivers that have represented Flashback have done a hell of a job. And yeah, congrats to all the top three. Ryan Hunter just missing out, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. We will take a look as well at the results very, very shortly. But the day was won by Ryan Cox in his second OFI appearance, and didn't have an easy time back at OFI5 at Brazil after jump starting. Didn't recover from that one, and he DNF'd after that as well, and was leading at turn 1 at the VSC. But coming back this time, and it's his turn to lift the trophy. And no doubt it's going to be a day well remembered by that of Flashback Racing. The OFI is the all-time greatest event running here in the Oceania regions. And Ryan Cox can call himself the king of the Oceanic regions. It's Ryan Cox, your victor, here at Melbourne, with Ryan Hunter finishing in second. A great battle towards the end. Gregory Prisbill in third, with Frosty finishing strongly in fourth. Ryan Bell in fifth. Auxilio in sixth. We then saw Geordie Slater come home in seventh despite the penalty. Al Karudin in eighth, just could not quite get going, with Left for Dead in ninth. Checkered Flag finishing in 10th. Noodles finished in 11th. We've got Yusuf Goat in 12th. We've got Seb in 13th. Ecam in 14th. Joshua Rimmer in 15th. SVYT 15 in 16th. Roscoe in 17th. Rapid Relics down in 18th. And Jordan Arnold finishing in 19th, with Clicks finishing in 20th after retiring earlier on. But there we have it, folks. What a momentous moment. What a race, first and foremost. I enjoyed every minute of that, Scotty. It was certainly a tremendous bit of action, and something we've come to expect, I think, from the very best in the business, certainly here in the Oceania regions. We've seen many great races, great finishes. I think this one probably ranks at the top, I think, of all-time great finishes in OFI. Don't think we've ever had a situation where we've had all three drivers, maybe even more than that, coming together in the closing stages of the race.
Yeah, just the ebbs and flows in that race as well. You had the 9-car train at the start, the pit stops. Raceback absolutely nailed the pit call to come in and undercut, and got through the traffic relatively cleanly. And Aston sort of did the same strategy. They just went a lap later, but went early enough that they got track position. And yeah, the Astons, after that pit stop, made the moves when they needed to. Ended up first and second at one point. Fantastic race. Then Ryan Hunter took the lead back, and you thought he could hold it, but unfortunately Ryan Cox absolutely nailed the 6-7 corners and able to get a nice run. So yeah, fantastic drive, fantastic racing from all the drivers as well. We barely saw any crashes. A couple of little incidents here and there. We had all 20 finishes, no safety cars. What more can you say? It was fantastic racing all the way along, and with the viewers that we had, they were spotted to an absolute ripper race, and as you said before, probably the best event that we have had in terms of how close it was at the front.
Yeah, it was very tight, and I just want to say a big shout out to every single viewer that came out with us as well. Over 300 of you tuning in. Absolute madness. Incredible, it has to be said. We have got, of course, our team, our drivers here as well. And I think first and foremost, we've got to start with our race winner, have we not? Ryan Cox, victor here in the OFI5 event. Ryan, can you hear us?
I can hear you, George.
Well, what a performance, my friend. Obviously, we'll try and get as much as we can out of you. You must be a little bit exhausted after that one. It was a very fraught affair. Qualifying went okay. You got into Q3. You started P5, but I think that ending has got to be up there, has it not, with one of your greatest all-time races?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I thought we were in a really tough spot after qualifying. I just can't believe it just happened.
Well, you are now the king of the OFI, at least for OFI5. I mean, that's got to mean a lot. We're talking about the entirety of the Oceanic region when we bring in some of the best leagues in the world. What does it mean to be given that label as the fastest driver in today's rendition of OFI?
Oh, I couldn't be happier. That's just, it's a shout out to Slammer as well for running this and for you to commentating. It's an awesome event. It's nice that we get a bit of recognition for our region, but yeah, I couldn't be happier with that. That was unreal. I'm lost for words.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, obviously, it's a great result, not just for you, but for your team. Flashback Racing taking home a double podium with you as a victor. Gregory coming home in third as well. What does that mean to the league as well as yourself? Obviously, you've just stated that you're blown away by the result, understandably as well. What does this mean for Flashback Racing?
All set, Captain. You are
I'm sure all the boys are loving it in the league. It's incredible to. We're brand new, one season in. So to come here and do something like that and put its name out there, I'm sure everyone's pretty happy with it. I mean, I'm ecstatic. It's awesome.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to let you, obviously a very emotional time, I'm sure, but I want to congratulate you. I'm going to let you go celebrate. Well done on a truly fantastic performance after that stellar race, and we wish you all the very best. I'm sure it won't be the last.
Cheers, George. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm going to bring your teammate in on this as well because obviously Gregory finishing in third. Gregory, you must be absolutely thrilled with your team's performance. You must be thrilled for Ryan as well in your own race. I mean, you started P8. I mean, that was a well-called strategy, was it not?
Yeah, I mean, Ryan did a great job. He nearly flawless race. I'm still kicking myself about qualifying. That's probably the worst Q3 performance I've had ever. Yeah, it was a great race. Massive shout out to Prince for giving us that beautiful strategy. The undercut was amazing, and yeah, well, we cooked. Let's put it like that. We cooked. It's nothing more to say. Thank you to Slammer for running this. It's fantastic what he's doing for our region. Thanks for commentating, and Timmy, thanks for choosing us as a dream lineup, you could say. 1-3 in OFI is pretty good.
Well, I mean, listen, I mean, like you say, I mean, we speak about how much we're trying to obviously grow the oceanic regions. I mean, we've heard obviously yourself what this means, and obviously for Ryan Cox as well, for you guys as individuals, and also as Flashback for their representation as a league here in this competition. But what does the OFI mean to the oceanic regions of F1 League Racing?
I think it's basically, it's like F1 esports for us, really. I mean, we look forward to it every 6 months or so whenever it comes around, and yeah, it just gives us confidence and it gives the game a send-off, really. It's, yeah, we all love it.
Yeah, and obviously we've seen you before, tying up at the very top. You've always been someone who's been fighting for podiums. It's yet another podium going your way this time. You know, after a busy qualifying session where you probably would have liked to have finished a little higher, do you take solace from that performance, and will you be looking ahead to further OFI action to potentially go 2 steps further and be a victor as opposed to a podium sitter?
I think, yeah, I think I've got myself to blame for quali. I just invalidated at turn 1 like I did in the qualifiers, so yeah, it just wasn't the cleanest quali, but I'll take a P3 starting P8. It was, strategy was fairly straightforward. We just knew that we had to undercut because it's like whoever's got track position wins. So we made the right moves when we needed to, and yeah, it was just perfectly executed second stint.
Yeah.
So
well, it was
I'm looking forward to next OFI too.
Oh, we're going to be in for a treat, folks. We can't wait to get you guys back in and obviously challenging for the top results. I mean, credit to you. Wish you all the very best, and congratulations, Flashback Racing. I think we might have. Is it your team boss, Timmy, who's with us?
Yes.
Yeah, Timmy, can you hear us?
We are all set, Captain.
Yeah, boys, I can hear you.
There he is, Flashback Racing's very own Timmy, joining us here in the commentary box as well. Want to talk to you, Timmy, as well, from your perspective. Obviously, you weren't in the hot seat necessarily as a driver, but in the hot seat as a team manager, I suppose, in this instance. What does this mean for Flashback?
Oh, it's absolutely huge. Obviously, we're probably the newest league on the lot in the Oceania region. This is only our first season. We're only 6 rounds or 7 rounds into the season, so to pull Bio or Gregory, as you know, and Ryan on board was huge for us, and especially to come out to win it. It really puts a statement out there that we're not here to be one of those everyday leagues. We're here to compete and try and be the best.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, great results like this help your league massively. It puts you guys on the map as well when we consider we've got a whole host of Aussie leagues competing against each other. It's truly great to see, and this is exactly what community is all about. But in its own sense, you know, how integral is having these events as part of the Oceania region as a whole? You know, how vital is it to boost the exposure of, you know, these fantastic organisations that are representing, you know, Oceania with events like these?
I think it's great personally. I love watching it. I support all the teams participating in it. I know most of the drivers, a lot of the drivers participate in the 14 leagues that took place at the start of this event before it got trimmed down there. So obviously I got a soft spot for a lot of the teams, and I think the exposure this event brings is massive. As you said, we pulled in 300 views there at one point. You won't see any of the leagues pull that in, but it creates that exposure for all the leagues that 300 members can see all these leagues competing and what they're all about and what they have to show.
There we go. Can't say it fairer than that. I will say this, Timmy. Congratulations on that immense performance, and we wish you all the very best. Maybe you'll go back to back.
Oh, yeah. I think the boys might request a pay rise.
Well, we'll wait and see. Thank you so much, Timmy, for joining us here in the commentary box.
Just a quick shout out to Ryan Bio and a special shout out to the Underground. Thanks, boys.
Oh, nice one. There you go, everybody. Shout outs all around
and
here.
Shout out, Scotty.
Thank you so much. Thank you as well to Gregory. Thank you to Ryan Cox as well. Superstars, as always. I'm going to bring in the one, the only Slammer in on this as well, because Steve is a very important figure in behind the scenes here at Oceania, and without him and his vision, this would not be happening. This would not be possible. So, Steve, I must say, I think this has got to be one of the most exceptional races I think we've had in the history of the OFI. I mean, what a finale. Great to see everything come down to the very last lap. And I think definitely a good advert for Oceania Racing.
Wow is just about all I can say, mate. Yeah, it has been phenomenal. The support from all the leagues, the admins, the drivers, even just people generally out there that enjoy this passion of ours. I think I've said it the last few times we've chatted, George, that it's about trying to get us all together. It's about the leagues, this one, and to sort of showcase what the guys do behind the scenes and what they do, the work they put in to get people out there and driving. And the dream's still there, mate. The dream is to not have you sitting at 10:30 in the morning commentating on them, but the dream is to have you commentating on them against your Freddies and your Yarnos and your Thomases. So that's the dream, step by step. We've spoken about it before, small little steps, and hopefully we'll get there. But not just the drivers. We've got Scotty here in comms, and we try and share the comms out as well. And we've got stewards from across the board and people helping out. It's just, I'm proud as punch, mate. Absolutely proud as punch.
Yeah, fantastic advert for it as well. And it's not the only competition we're going to witness here either, because we've got a draw, have we not, to do.
Yes.
So we need to decide who's going to win this next level FGT rig competition that we're going to be mustering. So what's the plan then, Steve? What are we going to do?
Well, mate, I press a little button in my little MooBot and it'll draw a name.
Okay.
Once it draws the name, hopefully this person's here, because in 2 minutes I redraw it unless the person follows the instructions in the draw.
Well,
Yep, I'm here. I'm already here, mate.
All right, so I'm just press the button and I get to read it in the chat with everyone else. There it is.
There it is. It's
WOR Geordie has been drawn for the giveaway. So hang on, is that Geordie, driver Geordie?
I'm wondering if it's Geordie Slater.
Pretty sure that is.
Yeah,
is that Geordie Slater?
I think it's Geordie Slater. Geordie Slater, I think, has managed to lay claim to the rig. Thing is, he's got to make himself heard, is he not? So
he does. He needs to. What does it say there? It actually said it. We got it wrong last time, George. I think it says has been drawn. Oh no! What does he need to do? He needs to do something. He needs to press exclamation claim.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're out there, Geordie Slater, exclamation mark claim. If you're out there, and you can then claim this prize. I haven't seen anything just yet, but I've got my eyes peeled on the chat here at the moment. We've got a lot of comments coming in. Geordie Slater, if you are out there, please make sure that you use.
I'm here.
Oh, he's here.
There he is. He's in there. Exclamation claim for the rig, Geordie. And you haven't got much more time.
Hurry up, mate. I think he's done it.
I think he's done it.
He did do it.
Yeah. There it is. Do it once more, just so the
just to make sure. He did do it.
Just to make sure. Yeah, I saw it as well. Do it once more for us, Geordie. It deleted it.
He has
There
done
you
it.
go.
There you go.
There we go.
Geordie has successfully claimed there next. There it is. Well done, mate. Congratulations, Geordie.
Yeah.
I think he's already got one from what I'm reading in the chat. So maybe he's in for a little bit of a bump in his wallet. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows indeed. I mean, what a great day's racing we've had, and truly exceptional. I mean, Steve, going back to the OFI, we've had 5. This is our 5th event that we have just concluded. Now, what's on the cards for the future?
Well, starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm. So I love, like, this whole thing started as a league event, and try and get the leagues together. And I think the little rhythm that we're starting to get into is at the end of the game cycle when we see the interest in the game sort of dropping off a little bit. I think it's a really good time to just reinvigorate it, and I think that's what this has done. So at the end of every game cycle, I want to do another one of these. So once a year. But then in the middle of the game cycle is where the individual events are going to come into it. So last time, as you know, George, we had a four-round series for OFI4, and the plans are to make that bigger and better for OFI 6, I suppose it's going to be. And there might be a couple of little changes involved in it, which just in the planning stage. But twice a year, George, and just trying to spread it between leagues and then individuals, showcasing the leagues and then showcase the individuals. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, folks, I tell you what, we've got more to check out in the future, but today, the day belongs to Ryan Cox, and it also belongs to Flashback Racing as well. What a performance by all those concerned as well. And big thank you to all our teams, and obviously the leagues and the drivers, everyone who has clubbed together to be part of the Oceania F1 Invitational. If you've been watching us live here on Twitch, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit that follow button down below to stay up to date with whenever the Oceania F1 Invitational goes live. You can also check it out on social media as well, where you can obviously follow the channel, stay up to date with all the latest news, and get involved as well. There is, of course, a Discord that you can also jump into. And make sure you check out all the leagues that have taken part, because you never know, you might be looking to become part of one day. If you enjoyed what you heard as well, you can check me out as well at It's George Morgan on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as various other places. The tag always remains the same. It's at It's George Morgan. And Scotty, where can they find you, sir?
Pretty much silly everywhere. Through the Discords, bit too old for social media. I'm gonna have to get on that a little bit more, but it'd be the Scotty handle 793. But yeah, fantastic event tonight, and yeah, what a race! And can't wait to event 6, where it sounds like it's going to be bigger and better than ever.
It certainly will do. And just to ask there, Steve Slammer, where can they find the Oceania F1 Invitational? Where can they find the socials?
Well, socials are all over the place. I think there's a couple of tags in the About button down at the bottom of this Twitch screen. But if you Discord, jump in and all the information will be there. We've obviously got a Twitter account running up as well. And the Twitch channel isn't whatever it is, an affiliate or a partner, because I don't really want to monetize this at all. So all the replays, we highlight them here, and then we'll also load them up into YouTube as well. And yeah, I'm contactable through Discord, involved in just about every league going around in our region, and then some. So if anyone wants to have a chat or give us any ideas or feedback, I'm always open to hear it and how you think we can make it better, because we're always trying to improve.
Well, brilliant. That's all we can wish for is improvement. I want to say a big thank you to you, Scotty. I want to say a big thank you to you, Steve. A big thank you to everyone watching in at home as well. Be sure to stay tuned in. Be sure to stay live as well, because OFI5 is now firmly done and dusted. We'll look ahead to further events in the near future. From all of us here at OFI, we wish you all the very best. We'll see you very soon. Goodbye.
We are all set, Captain. You are ready to go. We are all set, Captain. You are ready to go.
One, two.